Women's March Contra Costa is here for the third year because we won't stand for anti-Semitism, discrimination against the LGBTQIA+ community, bigotry, racism, sexism, divisiveness, or discrimination of any kind. We collaborate with a variety of local organizations to plan a positive, inclusive, and family-friendly event. Women's March Contra Costa is committed to community building and unifying work. We've been horrified, demoralized, furious by the attacks happening on our communities, outraged by acts of senseless violence that disproportionately impact people of color and other vulnerable groups throughout our country. These despicable acts are destructive reminders caused by hate and vitriol. Words matter. Actions matter. Community matters. Together, we rise.
As it's ending, like we never had a chance. Do you have to make me feel like there's nothing left of me? You can take everything I have. You can break everything I am, like I'm made of glass, like I'm made of paper. Go on and try to tear me down. I will be rising from the ground like a skyscraper. Like a skyscraper. Or you can start speaking up. Nothing's gonna hurt you the way the words do when they settle neath your skin. Kept on the inside and no sunlight, sometimes a shadow waves. I wonder what would happen if you say what you wanna say and let the words fall out. Honestly, I wanna see you be bright in what you wanna say and let the words fall out. Honestly, I wanna see you be bright. Well, let's get some volume. This is gonna be good. 525,600 minutes. 525,000 moments so dear. 525,600 minutes. How do you measure a year? In daylights, in sunsets, in midnights, in cups of coffee, in inches, in miles, in laughter, in strife. In 525,600 minutes. How do you measure a year in the life of a man? Love, love, love.
So 2 years ago, I was out there marching. I felt everything you felt. Sadness, anger, fear. And together we showed up on Martin Luther King weekend and we said, we're not going to be silent. We're going to stand up and use our voices and our feet and everything in our power to make sure that the arc of history continues to bend towards justice. And last year, I was here over there as a candidate for the state assembly because I decided that what was going to change the trajectory we were on was each and every one of us standing up and doing everything in our power to fight for our children, to make sure they inherit a world at least as wonderful as the one that we inherited, to make sure that they have a voice in Sacramento that will fight to protect them from gun violence. That we have representation in Sacramento that will fight every day to give every single child in California an education that will prepare them for the jobs they will face and give them the opportunity that every single one of us has had, no matter their race, no matter their gender, no matter whether they were born here or naturalized. They deserve the same opportunities that we have. We got through 2018 and it was pretty fantastic. But as we look towards 2020, and we all want to continue that fight so that that arc continues to bend towards justice even a little bit harder, I urge each of you to continue to do what you have done since we stood together here 2 years ago. You showed up. You made phone calls. You texted, no matter to your representatives or to your friends. And you showed up at the polls. And you had your voice heard. And what I say all the time is when we vote our values, we win. And I think that's true for every single one of you and for your representatives. Demand that each and every one of us votes your values every single day. So, please, keep marching, keep calling, keep texting, keep doing all the things you're doing. And I'm looking at all the women out there, run for office.
I decided to do my part, go on and run for office, and got elected to San Ramon City Council. But this is not where my journey ends. This is where it begins. And what I just want to say to each one of you is that you will get to a point where your bucket will become full. And before it tips, do something. Serve on your committees, serve on your commissions, get involved in local government, show up at the table, and get a seat at the table. Thank you, Walnut Creek.
No one should live in fear of violence. No, that is not bodily autonomy. And so justice for our missing and murdered Indigenous sisters is reproductive justice. No one should be denied access to a procedure they know is right for them. Denied access to a procedure does not allow for healthy decisions. Money should not determine a person's power to make this already difficult decision. What we need is reproductive justice. Immigration status should not be a hindrance to affordable health care. An ID should not be required for your children to see an MD. Immigrant justice is reproductive justice. No man, woman, or child should not know where their next meal is coming from. No community where people go hungry is safe or sustainable. Food security is reproductive justice. Mental health should never determine a person's character or self-worth. Stigmas around mental illnesses obstruct social power to make healthy decisions. Justice for people living with mental illnesses is reproductive justice. Elected leaders should accurately represent their constituents. How can a politician respect your bodily autonomy if they've never known theirs to be threatened? Political representation is reproductive justice. Gender identity and sexual orientation should never be a limiting factor to starting a family. All who want to parent and have children should have the ability to do so. So LGBTQ equality is reproductive justice. Racism and hate crimes should never separate a parent from their child. In communities where this occurs, we can never be safe. Racial justice is reproductive justice. And in the words of Dr. Martin Luther King, without justice, there can be no peace. Administration's series of attacks proves that they do not care about the sexual and reproductive health of the people in this country. Just months after they refuse to believe survivors, they're already after Title IX protections for young adult survivors of sexual assault. In a world where 77% of sexual assaults go unreported, this new rule change will make it even harder for victims of sexual violence to come forward. In a world where hold on, let me tell y'all. Narrowing the definition of sexual assault won't make the problem go away. If anything, it will make us louder. Title IX justice is reproductive justice. Young people have been front and center with our nation's reckoning with sexual assault. They're raising their voices in opposition to this rule. They won't stand for this threat to their health, safety, and education, and they won't be fighting alone. Planned Parenthood Northern California is committed to continuing to resource these students as they advocate for themselves and their communities. The 60-day comment period is still open, so I'm gonna ask y'all to help us. So what I need you to do is make your comments and tell Betsy DeVos to leave survivors alone. Tell her that we won't stand for a Title IX rule that harms survivors. So go right over there, visit my girl Margaret at the Planned Parenthood table, and make your comments to the Department of Education and tell Betsy DeVos to believe survivors. We won't back down because obviously when women come together, we are unstoppable. With communities across the country demanding action in our community and demanding reproductive justice for all. Thank you, and thank you for your support for Planned Parenthood.
This is so cool. Uh-oh, what's going on? All right, I'm just easier. Thank you all for being here. You have no idea how beautiful you look from up here. I wonder if you could give a big round of applause for the organizer, Adriana and Leslie. They're amazing! Yay! 3 years ago, they came to my office and talked about what can we do. And they've done so much, and you've done so much. And I want to tell you, thank you so much to you, to all of you who helped us retake the House of Representatives. A few years ago, when this election happened, I will admit to despair. I thought money and influence and half-truths and full truths and immorality was what America had become. And then last November, through your hard work, we elected the most diverse, the most women to the United States House of Representatives. And they're amazing. 100 years ago, in this country, if you were a woman, you couldn't vote. 100 years ago, we passed the 19th Amendment. This is the 100th anniversary. Three weeks ago, I got to sit and represent you in the United States House of Representatives chamber and see the second woman Speaker of the United States House of Representatives elected again. Who is the first woman Speaker? She's amazing. We got off the airport a few months ago, off the plane at National, and I said to her, Nancy Paul, her husband, does she worry about your energy? And she grabbed my arm and she said, he thinks I'm getting worse as I get older. Thank God, because that's what we need. We are going to overcome this immorality, this evil, this lying, and the only way we overcome that and the influence of money is to do what we've always done, get people to get out and vote, get women to get out and vote, to get minorities to get out and vote, and get kids to get out and vote. And think of your neighbors, those 800,000 federal employees and those contractors. We have passed 9 bills led by Speaker Pelosi over to Mitch McConnell since we took charge 2 weeks ago. 9 bills to get the government open. Not only has that not gone to the president's desk, Senator McConnell refused to have a vote because he doesn't want his members to be accountable to their voters. So what we need to do is hold tight, keep working. I passed somebody walking up here, and a lady had a sign that said 1,361 days to go, and as I walked by, I laughed, and she said, that's the maximum. Great time. Anyways, this Martin Luther King weekend, I want to leave you with a quote because I've been thinking about it a lot in regards to what's happened in this country, what's happening at the border, having seen the evil that is happening in our name in the border, having gone there and talked to 5-year-old kids who marched 2,500 miles from Guatemala to ask for their legal right with their parents for asylum, and then be told by U.S. federal employees, taken away from their parents and told that their parents never wanted to see them again. We still have those kids need to be reunified. That order by the President and the Attorney General was illegal. A judge said it was illegal, and we're struggling with it. So when we look at the suffering that happens because of this current leadership, I want to leave you with this quote from Dr. King. He said, the true measure of a person is not where they stand at moments of comfort and convenience, but rather where they stand at moments of challenge and controversy. He said, in hazardous valleys and dangerous pathways, the true neighbor rises a beaten and bruised brother or sister to a higher and more noble life. That's what you do today, and thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Clarissa Wilson, a senior and an associate student body president attending Antioch High School. I am the founder of the Stuff the Bus School Supply Retention Program that supports low-income families in my community by ensuring that students have the things that they need to be prepared for school. I am a mentor for young and potentially at-risk girls of color, and I am the 2019 Antioch Youth Citizen of the Year. Thank you. It is truly a blessing to be here today to show my support as a young woman and to spread my Black girl magic as a young woman of color. I just wanted to briefly say to you all how important it is to encourage you to get involved. As a youth today in society, it is even more important for us to get involved. So take us under your wing, let us know why it is important for us to vote when we turn 18, and let us know that you support us, because that is something that we so desperately need today in society. Thank you.
All right, folks! Is it a great day to be on the right side of history? Be on the right side of history! The right voices are going to drown out the wrong way! Thank you! Thank you!
proud member of the California Nursing Association. Nurses, hold your hands, heal your hearts, and when it comes to health care and justice, nurses have your back. I am also a retired cheerleader, and my job is to get you on your feet and yell at your We've got two chants we want to say today. I want this half of the crowd to join me in representing our sisters and brothers in the human race on the border trying to get to that land of freedom. I want to hear it to victory, and in Spanish that is Hasta la Victoria! Let me hear you say it! Hasta la Victoria! On this side, I want to hear Together We Rise! Together we rise! Let's try it again! Hasta la Victoria! Together we rise! Hasta la Victoria! Together we rise! Hasta la Victoria! Together we rise! Give it up, folks, for Antioch City Councilwoman, Monica Wilson! Thank you all. Inspires me all to see you here. I am Monica Wilson, Antioch City Council member. Antioch, a city who cares. Contra Costa, a county that cares. Last November, we broke barriers. We had record number of women win offices throughout the United States. In 2012, I broke a record. In 2012, I was the first African American woman elected to city council in the city of Antioch. They said I couldn't do it. They told me to go home. They said, little girl, you're not strong enough. Nobody knows you. I proved them wrong. In 2016, I was reelected again. And again, they told me, you can't do it twice. Oh, yeah? How you like me now? This last December, I became the longest serving African American on our city council. And I'm just getting started. So today I'm talking about barriers being broken. The first two women's marches drew millions of people across the country to come out and protest. And consequently, we inspired hundreds of women across the country to run for office and win last November. And we won in record numbers. So today, we celebrate women's growing representation in Congress. I love that chant. A record 21 women are now senators, and there are over 100 women in the House. We have the most women serving in Congress in history. The first two Native American women were elected to Congress. The first two Muslim women were elected to Congress. The first Korean American woman was elected to Congress. At the age of 20, 1929, the youngest woman in U.S. history was elected to Congress. In Tennessee and Arizona, the first female senators were elected. In Connecticut and Massachusetts, the first African American women were elected to Congress. Texas, first Latina woman elected to Congress. Maine and South Dakota elected their first female governors. The first openly bisexual senator was elected to Congress.
Folks, I might be a loudmouth, but let me tell you what I have learned on 9 strike lines is that even the quietest sister has a gift, has a talent. And organizing is about meeting people. Organizing is about building community. Organizing is about finding people's talents and gifts and plugging them in. Because as you see, when you look around here today, there were so many jobs that had to be filled, so many things that had to do for this march to come together, for all these speakers to be up here before you. Folks, I want you to give yourselves a big hand of applause for showing up. I want you to give an even bigger applause for the people that put this march together. And I want to encourage you, plug in, let's win. Hasta la victoria, together we rise. Hasta la victoria, together we rise. Hasta la victoria, together we rise.
We want to thank this community for coming out today to show that we do care. We gather to celebrate, connect, and commit. Some people have called us an angry mob.